So today I go on Facebook to my usual groups that I've created, which is Days of Destruction, Days of Revolt. That's a group, and then the Naked Empire is another. Is a page that I own, and there's a couple of others that I own too. Stop the War Against Russia and China. The Imminent Human Extinction is another one. So I own about 4 or 5 pages. Vegans for Nonviolence, and so I'm just about to post, and then so I try to post on my own private account, and it came up with one of those error messages, and also gave me an explanation that basically why I couldn't post. And then I remember this coming up a few weeks ago. I heard that there was going to be this issue with Australians not being able to post content from news links onto Facebook. And but I didn't realize it was today. So so basically now I can't post any news links on my own pages on Facebook, and I can only post YouTube videos and probably things from SoundCloud or from other podcast sites. But news links, and also I can't even post my own Substack account, the faintsignalsfromvega.substack.com. I can't post that. I couldn't even say to people on my own private account that to ask them to join my Substack. So not that I post news links on Substack. I just post my own content on there. But anyway, and the reason this is happening, if you hadn't heard, was because the ACCC had instructed Facebook that, and also the Murdoch Press is in on this, of course. The Murdoch Press is basically indicating that every time somebody posts one of their link, which is also one of their news items, which is also behind a paywall. I don't bother with the Murdoch Press, but they own 75% of the media in Australia. The ACCC and the Murdoch Press have been basically saying that if anybody uses their material, anybody uses their news items, that they need to be paid for it. So you can imagine that this went down like a lead balloon for Facebook, and they said, well, sorry, we're not interested in your news anymore, and Australians won't be able to post any news links to anything. So that's sort of charming, because fortunately I don't actually post any of the corporate media stuff unless I want to put some sort of analysis about it in the in the section where you can do that. And but the fact that I'm not even able to now post I can't post anything from thegrayzone.com, but I can post videos from their YouTube channel. So I can't. And I imagine I probably won't be able to post anything. I haven't tried it, I don't think, but minpressnews.com. I can't post anything from there. So basically it's anything that isn't a video or a podcast, literally a podcast, and it's anything basically that is actually a news link, I can't post it on Facebook. Now I absolutely and have done for many years, particularly since they basically suffocated with algorithms, a very healthy, vibrant Facebook page I once had. I still have it, but it's going backwards, called Live Vegan. And that's one of the reasons I started Faint Signals from Vega, is because my Live Vegan post, one of the reasons, the other reason is I was branching out and wanted to talk about lots of other issues as well as veganism. But on Live Vegan I had 58,000 members, and then these crushing algorithms came in 2012, and that was the end of that. It started going backwards. It was getting like between 100 and 250 people a day. And then in 2012, the crushing algorithms came in. You could almost pinpoint the day when it happened, and then it just completely stopped, and it's been going backwards ever since. Now I think it's about 49,000 anyway, so it's completely dead. When you post things on Live Vegan, it hardly anybody sees it. So I've been sort of had this completely hate relationship with Facebook. And one of the only reasons I really stay on it is because people seem to enjoy the content on Days of Destruction, Days of Revolt. And also that there are a few independent journalists who still post status updates, like Ajama Baraka. I suppose you couldn't call him an independent journalist, but he's a very important voice for the left with the Black Alliance of Peace and the Black Agenda Report. And he often leaves great status updates. And then there's Margaret Kimberley, Danny Hayfong. Abby Martin doesn't really post that much on there anymore, because she's basically, the algorithms on the Empire Files has been appalling. There are a few other independent journalists as well that post, the occasional status update, and I like it for that. Nobody ever sees my posts, rarely on my own private page, my own Trisha Roberts private page. I can post for days and hardly anybody. I might be lucky if one person sees it, even though I've got about 500 plus people on the page who are supposedly, you know, they're following my stuff. Well, no one ever sees anything that I post anyway. And I rarely see anything that anybody else posts either. It's very rare that I ever post any personal content on my Facebook page for reasons of, because I think fuck Facebook. And also, I'm just not very forthcoming with personal stuff. I never have been on social media. So I mean, I just have this loathing for Facebook anyway. So it's like, give me another reason, Facebook, for me to just dice you completely. And this is sort of a reason, basically, that if they don't reverse this, if the ACCC and the Murdoch press don't backpedal, basically reverse that pressure and stop insisting that Facebook pay them for every time somebody looks at one of their news links or whatever, and basically allows Australians to post news items if they want to without Facebook having to pay. Unless they reverse that, then and they do it, it's in the next 2 or 3 weeks, and I think I'm just going to disable my account and forget about it altogether, because I've been just hanging on by my fingernails, really, with my interest in that this Atlantic Council owned awful imperialist pushing propaganda rag, which is Facebook. I've just been hanging in there and sort of thinking, really, or every so often just questioning why on earth I bother, except that for the days of destruction, days of revolt, and hoping that those other pages, like Stop the War Against Russia and China, and some other things like that. I've just been thinking, well, maybe somebody will see it and it will, and it's another place for me to post my content from Faint Signals from Viga. I have my own page, Faint Signals from Viga, which is basically heavily suppressed and no one sees it, so I don't bother posting on there. It's funny. That's just how it is. So anyway, this is, just another, basically the corporate media giants plus Silicon Valley deciding once again what people can see, what people can do. And we're just like, no offense to vultures, but they're like one big gigantic vulture picking on the bones of the public. They don't care whatsoever if what we think of it or how we react to it. It really doesn't matter. All that matters is corporate money. So if in some ways this negatively affects the Murdoch press or something in Australia, some corporate paper, some corporate rag, if it affects that negatively and the ACCC is connected with all of that, then they might sort of walk back that insistence on being paid for any sort of viewership of their, these news items by Australians, these news items, and maybe Australians can once again post news, if you can call it that, because it's just stenographer propaganda, basically. All these corporate media things are just arms of the military. They're just basically propaganda arms of the military-industrial complex and the capitalist, rapacious, patriarchal system, really. So, I just hope they all eat one another alive, all the corporate media and all these awful Silicon Valley, Silicon Valley is basically just propaganda arms of the U.S. national security state and weapons industry and all of that. They really are at this point. So I hope they just eat one another alive and destroy one another. That would be my how I would feel about it. But they're all just, it's just a battle over the corpse of the public. So I guess in the next few weeks I'll see if this reverses itself. But if not, then I'll be saying goodbye to Facebook, and fuck Facebook is all I can say. I absolutely loathe them. I loathe all these social media platforms like Twitter. I loathe Silicon Valley, Google, and all of that. They're just disgusting. They're bringing us all closer to some sort of nuclear war, mutually assured destruction. They're destroying the lives of millions with their propping up of the U.S. national security state, and I loathe them all, including this platform, YouTube, that I'm on, which is also censorship by algorithm to the nth degree, and just taking channels off because their algorithms don't like certain words. Just a disgusting censorship mess, and it has real consequences with people dying, people being killed in countries all over the world, and countries being overthrown by a U.S. empire. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say was fuck Facebook, and I hope that it destroys itself. I hope that these corporate media giants destroy one another in their attempts to get more and more money and to control the narrative. So thanks for watching. My name's Trisha Roberts. You're watching Faint Signals from Viga. Till next time, bye for now.